Welcome to the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast, where hosts Dan and Angie talk with creatives, small business owners, charities, and all kinds of interesting people. It's all real talk. It's all fine and Danjee.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us this week. Welcome to the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast. Dan and I here sitting at the kitchen table. I feel like we're newscasters. Don't you feel like that, kind of sitting like this?
Now for the weather. Bob? Yeah, I do.
It's very humid today. We did take a hike and really sweat within 2 minutes of the hike because of all the humidity.
You know what? We no offense, we love Asheville still, and we love all these other surrounding towns, but we are starting to think that we're going to need to see another summer because we've been told by others that this is unreasonably warm, but this is too warm for us. It's too warm.
I know, we're such crybabies. But I do feel like if we go through like a whole nother winter, like the whole the fall and winter season, that by the time summer comes around, we'll be excited to be able to go out and swim and take the dogs to the river.
Have some heat,
have some of the heat. So
that's
I feel
a good
like
point.
We need to give it a chance.
Because we moved here in December, so we missed most of the winter, really.
Yeah.
I guess, sort of. I mean, it seems like it was...
Well, no, winter, we moved like right in the dead of the winter.
Yeah, but wouldn't they, like, October, November here is kind of wintry? I don't know. I mean it seemed like a nice winter, but it went by too fast. So maybe we need to live in Alaska, but...
Plus, I've been to Florida 5 times since then, so I haven't had a break from the heat.
Speaking of which, I will be back in Florida in like 3 weeks for work, and then I get to go to San Diego in a couple months. So I'll be trying out some different weather for a change.
That's right. But we did have a nice little road trip. We took the dogs in the middle of the week. And
that was nice.
Went to Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville. We had to go there to the Apple store for, various reasons, or just one. But after that,
various reasons.
After that, we went to a little local mom and pop, little bistro type bar for lunch. I wish I could remember the name of it, but
it was really good food.
It was very good food. Yeah. And then we went to a park. Angie, tell them all about the park. It was very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really weird because there was a waterfall in the middle of the city, which I thought was the coolest thing. It was called Falls Park on the Reedy, and beautiful property. I mean, just nice little paths you can ride a bike or walk. And I mean, I guess it goes like a long way. We just kind of walked around the little river part, but literally there is a river, and behind it is like the buildings.
It's
with like
the
a little
weirdest,
bridge crossing it.
It is the weirdest
and there's
mix.
a little waterfall.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I mean, it's like literally like being out on a nature trail on a natural river with a natural waterfall with like full-blown downtown city buildings, multi-story buildings. Cool. Within, throwing a rock distance. It was really weird, but very cool.
And what I love is that nobody's like keeping you out of the river. There's people swimming in there. There was dogs going in the river. Like there's no gate keeping you out.
I know.
There's nothing. Do not swim in the water.
Yeah, there was a little sign
that puppies in there. It was great.
It was great. There was a little sign that said, "Please don't climb on the rocks." Or no, climbing on the rocks is discouraged. But I love that, too, where it's like, we don't really want you to do this, but if you want to, nobody's going to give you a hard time.
I mean, they don't want a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's basically what that is.
But it was fun. That was really
fun. We had to avoid the goose poop. There were the Canadian geese all over the place. I think that's what those kind are called, right? The black and white ones?
I think so, maybe.
Because there's white geese, too.
Right? Are the black and white geese, is that just a nickname, or are they from Canada?
I mean, I think they kind of migrate more south.
They weren't super nice, so I'm not sure if they were from Canada.
No, geese are nice. They're not nice.
Not even Canadian geese?
No.
All right. They were hissing, and we had to like squeeze in between.
Too.
Yeah.
They had babies, so we were having to keep the dogs away and avoid the gross goose poop because their poop is the size of
a small child.
Medium dog.
Well, and of course, dogs like to eat goose poop, so we didn't want them to fill up on that. But it was
gorge on it.
You know, it's cool too. Little Oliver here, he's down at my feet, but he is like, Mackenzie's always going to be our sweet little girl dog. She's not that sweet, but we love her.
Yeah, she's a
little stubborn, but
You can say bitchy.
Yeah.
She's a little bitchy.
But he is just like, he's funny because he's afraid of the dumbest stuff, like, the water hose. But when I tat him on the leash and I'm like taking big steps over to these rocks in the current, and I'm like, all right, let me figure out how I'm going to get him over. He just jumps and goes everywhere I go. So it was really cool. He's like, wherever you're going, Dad, I'm in.
Yeah, I trust you. I trust you.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Whereas Mackenzie's looking at me like, are you going to pick me up?
Right.
Or, okay, I'll go this way, but I'm not going to follow you. I'm going to go my own way.
And poor Oliver.
Yeah, she's a little independent like that.
He gets bullied by her still somewhat. But and he's
getting bigger, though.
He gets snipped next week.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
He's going to the doctor. Thank God.
Oh, it's going to be so hard for me.
Starting to lift the leg. I don't need that happening in the house.
Oh, boy.
They tend to do that. But, every weekend we've been really having fun exploring all the different little towns that are probably within, maybe like an hour and a half drive within that vicinity.
Yeah.
Some a little closer. But we've just been... somebody will give us a recommendation for a little town or we'll read about it and we'll put that on the list to go there that next weekend.
It's really fun doing that too. And the towns
really
are so
is.
different. Like, we'll go to one town and it's got its little charm, but it's like totally different. Like we just went to Burnsville, which has its own charm, but it's very different than say Hendersonville or even Marshall. It's just...
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so different.
I really liked Burnsville a lot.
I did too.
Dan said that the town square looks like what? Reminded you of what?
It reminded me of almost like a cross between Mayberry and Hill Valley. So if you're a nerd, you know what Hill Valley is, but that's Back to the Future, that square.
I knew, and I'm not a nerd.
Yeah, but it's a square. Like the downtown is a square. And there's like a park in the middle. All they need is like a clock tower building. But it was
so cute. And it's very
really
quaint.
is.
And what I loved is there's like there's more kind of modern shops down there. A couple of restaurants. What I really loved is that there is a old theater downtown and it's for sale. I told Dan we should buy it.
It's only like $100,000 and
$200,000.
Oh, $200,000.
Yeah.
And then you got to buy the movies and the rights and all. But how cool would it be to own a little theater that you could do?
You could
plays?
dress up in like the old how they used to dress up, like in
that's why she wants it. She wants to dress up
and do like themed stuff. You know how I am with my themes.
Yeah, I mean it's neat. It's got the little ticket window in the front. But we're just dreaming for a second, But we're not dreaming about potentially moving there. We're considering it, but we're looking at a bunch of places.
Yeah.
But we just really liked it, but we're dreaming about just for a minute to daydream, and we're like, oh, well, what if you had it set up for plays and you could do like
local
older
talent.
movies and local talent, older movies. You could do like, Back to the Future since we're talking about it, but also you could do first run movies maybe on Fridays and Saturday nights. And then the rest of the time, because a small town theater, I'm not sure you can afford, I don't know how that works, but to run the latest and greatest movies all the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of those older theaters, at least back in Florida, they sort of supplement their time by running old movies, or maybe it's Ferris Bueller or something like that,
Well, you could do fun interactive stuff too, like older movies, and you could turn it into like a trivia movie theater.
Oh, yeah, like they do with the
something.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Or a dress-up one.
That's what they do with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah,
but a trivia one would be really cool. Anyway.
Really neat.
Dreamers.
Yeah.
Dreaming. But we went to a really good restaurant down there. Take the dogs right in, which I love. Garden Deli. Great service. The food was great. We just split something for lunch.
Yeah, super reasonable prices. Very popular. They do close early on the weekends, actually.
Yeah.
No, it was a weekday. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a weekday. But what's funny is, I posted that we were there, and Lori, my cousin's like, I didn't say where we were. I just said we're exploring Burnsville, and she's like, Garden Deli. So if you know, I guess. But it's a quaint little place. Very cool.
Yeah.
Funny thing is,
liked it.
And we were coming off the interview with
Chip.
Chip, what's his last name?
Conrad.
I want to call him Chip Donahue from the guy I knew in high school, but
With
Chip
the Body Tribe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Chip Donahue.
Chip Conrad.
Did it again. Chip Conrad. Sorry, Chip. I know who you are. Forgive me if I
would
call
know
you.
if I saw you.
If I call you, yeah. Anyway, if I call you the wrong name when I see at least the wrong last name. But Chip showed us or told us all about some stuff that, maybe going up there and doing some stuff with him and some hiking. And I don't want to give it away in case this is like a secret up there. but we couldn't quite work out the weekends. We're still now kind of trying to reschedule it. And it was kind of last minute when I told them we were going. But we asked the folks at the Garden Deli, and they're like, no, I can't really tell you that. And what I think it is, and what I love about it, is they're guarding their trails because it's not a touristy thing, and they don't want it to be a touristy thing.
That's what you asked the server.
Yeah, I asked the
hostess.
And basically she told me I can't give away that information or I'll get in trouble with the locals, which I think is really neat. You know,
I like that too.
I was like, I totally get it.
Too.
So, Chip, we're gonna have to meet up with you because the secret is safe.
Secret is safe still. We don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And then we had went to Crabtree Falls after that and did a little bit of a hike, and the puppies were getting wore out.
Yeah.
And so we headed back. But anyway, it was a cute little town. The next town I have on our list to go check out is Hot Springs.
Oh, I'm excited to see that.
So if anybody has any tips for over at Hot Springs, let us know. I want to go check out that town.
Yep. And we're going to be checking out eventually maybe more north. I don't know. We might even go up to Tennessee. I don't know. We're just kind of scoping it out still. And it's nice to have the flexibility to do that.
I know.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's been really fun. And I look forward to, you never know, because we may stumble across. We've been saying that we want to live in the mountains. But I think what we're starting to realize is still in the mountains, but not on the mountain. We kind of like that valley view where you have mountains all around.
Yeah.
But you're in the valley, but close to the mountains. I mean, not, here in Asheville, you can see them.
In the valley.
Yeah. You can start talking like that.
Girl. I don't even remember how they talk.
I think it's, like gag me with a spoon type, that kind of, remember the 80s reference? Anyways, but like in Asheville, you can see the mountains, but they're way far away. But in some of these little towns, like where we went to see that property, we couldn't get through the gate, the mountain is right there. So in your backyard, it's like your yard and then the mountain. And that's kind of what we're looking for. It's that kind of vibe.
I think that is. I mean, we're still feeling that out, but I think that's probably the angle that we're going to go.
I think so too. It's been fun kind of poking around doing that stuff.
And I've been forcing you out every Sunday morning. Trying to every Sunday morning. Anyway.
Oh yeah, to go to I've been going. I went to the Drippolator last Sunday to write, and I'm starting to really dig into writing again. Trying not to talk about it too much because I feel like I have, I wrote my first book in a year. I wrote my second book in 2.5 years, and it's been 5 years. And everyone's like, "Did you just quit writing?" I guess. And I've written like half of 3 books, so I'm kind of
just gotta zone in on one and
laser
focus and get the story.
Yeah, and this one's a little bit of a complicated plot to map out, but I'm excited to share it with those of you that follow my writing when it's done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
You got your truck fixed at a local little mechanic. We found our new mechanic.
Yes, the Smoky Park Automotive. And you can tell when you go to a mechanic that, like, those of you that are local here in this Asheville area, if you don't know about them, they're booked out like 3-4 weeks. And you're going to a good mechanic. We had one of these in Florida where, like, when I called them to schedule this, I told them, hey, I've been told by another mechanic that I need all new struts on my truck, so let me just schedule that. This is like a $700 or $800 process, to get those all replaced. And while I'm there, let me get an oil change and let me get I think my brake pads need to be replaced too. Well, they called me in the middle of the day and said, I mean, I'd be happy to do this if you really want me to. I mean, they'll make money from it, but you don't need any of that. All you need is an oil change. So anyway, shout out to them because there's so many places that will tell you need stuff you don't need. And these guys were just great. Anyway, so love that.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. You know what I mean? When you go to a place like that. Yeah. Usually they can kind of read you too. I mean, first of all, most places, if you came in and said, I think I need my struts done, they're going to tell you, you sure do.
You absolutely do. In fact, it's dangerous. We should probably just keep your vehicle right now. That's what I would expect. Yeah.
Oh, but we've been having fun around here. We got the pups a little splash pad because it is a little warm out. And they always play, like Mackenzie loves the pool and chases the hose. And Oliver attacks the hose right at where the water comes out. He won't go any further than that.
He's afraid of it. He's afraid of water. Angie gets mad at me because I call him a wimp, but he's a wimp when it comes to the water.
Well, whatever. He swims in the rivers, though. He will go right in a river.
That's true.
He has no problem with that.
That's true. But if the river water spurted up into the air, he is running for the truck because it's flying water is terrifying to him.
So we have this little well, it's like a mountain drop off in the back of our house.
Yeah,
And you
I've
go
fallen
down,
twice,
yeah.
3 times, twice.
Yeah, we've both fallen. But anyway, let's not talk about, that.
Just broke my wrist.
We should have that on video. Anyway, we go down there and we have the pool down there. It's a nice spot for them to just run around, and we put the splash pad down there. The other day we went down there and we have a huge tree down in the center.
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
And it's carved out like, it looks like a critter has lived in there before.
It looks like Winnie the Pooh's house. It's
Yeah.
like the tree spreads open at the bottom, and it's got, you could almost climb in it. It's so big.
Yeah. But you notice something poking its head out.
Yeah, like we're down there with the dogs, and I can't believe the dogs didn't get this, and we're like spraying the hose and stuff, and I'm like, what I started to do is tell you, when I was mowing down there the other day, I was like, there's some kind of reptile in there, and I got real close, and it's just like a chipped log that has like the perfect shape of like a dragon's head or something. So I was gonna mess with her because it literally looks like that. Like those big iguanas that get loose in Florida would never survive up here. So I'm like, Angie, and then I see like an actual rodent head sticking out, much bigger than what I saw. And yeah, there's a groundhog in there for sure.
We named him Chucky because we just learned that groundhogs are also called woodchucks. I can't believe I didn't know that.
So I have a question.
I thought a woodchuck was like another name for a beaver.
No, and I have a question for you about woodchucks.
Yes.
How much?
Stop it.
But anyway, so it's kind of like fireflies. When we saw the fireflies and we're posting on social media, my super southern family is like, you mean lightning bugs? So I guess, whatever.
They're called both things, everyone.
There's a region maybe where you call it one thing or the other, but it's the same.
But I never knew that a groundhog was called a woodchuck.
I didn't either.
I thought a beaver was called a woodchuck.
I think the reason you think that is because that stupid thing, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck? I always pictured whatever that creature is, it's chewing up wood.
I think maybe groundhogs are called woodchucks because they probably burrow in trees like that.
Yep.
And they have like
claws
on them. They probably have to dig in there. So I don't know. I should look up the reason why they're called a woodchuck before I go on a tangent about it. But anyway, his name is Chucky, and he lives in our backyard.
And I set up my GoPro down there.
And I feed him apples.
Yep, I set up my GoPro, and we came up to get away to let him out to get him free. And then he's not coming out, so I go down there to get my GoPro, and he's climbing out, and he looks kind of pissed off, and he's not leaving the area when I go to get the camera, and I'm like, I don't know, Angie, I think I might wait. And of course, Angie marches right down there to the camera and is like, hey, little buddy. And he's fine.
Talking to him. He's just eyeing me up, feeling me out, seeing if he needs to sense danger from me. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm his friend.
Well, it's neat to have that. We're not used to it. We've never had those.
They eat like grubs and bugs and worms and stuff like that. So they're kind of good to have in your yard.
I mean, I did read they don't really attack dogs. They're kind of considered dogs a predator, but if they do feel cornered or threatened, they will. So we just got to keep an eye because, our dogs would definitely chase him. But he's a cool little guy or gal. We don't know.
That's right.
The other thing, too, is for our anniversary, Angie bought us. Thank you.
I'm fixing you.
Whatever. Angie bought us tickets to David Spade, and we are big fans of Rules of Engagement. It's an old sitcom that David Spade's on. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's so good. It's totally politically incorrect, and it's totally offensive, and it's hilarious. But
it is.
But
it's very funny.
It was kind of neat to go and see him in person, and we've all seen his movies and stuff. And I had a blast, and I was cracking up. The people that came before him were great. Only downside is it was about 120 degrees, and
Lordy.
It's like the AC was broke in the little show there.
It was like the little concert hall down there, Harrah's Cherokee
Center, not the casino, but the center. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was. And we got all dressed up because it's date night, and it was the Joe Dirt bus tour, so we probably should have been our first clue that. Everybody's not going to be dressed up. There were some people, but
most people were in shorts.
I wore cutoff shorts and a wife beater.
I don't know about that.
I would have had a much better time.
Yeah, I could have worn shorts and t-shirt. But there's a lot of fake mullets. People are kind of going with that vibe, which is pretty funny and pretty neat.
Funny.
But I will say, David Spade's doing a joke and he's talking and he looks down in the crowd and he goes, "Shorts, huh?" Yeah. So you couldn't even put pants on for my show. He goes, straight from the lawnmower to the car, going to see David Spade. So he was kind of goofing on people for that too, but it was fun.
It was a good show. He had 2 opening acts that were pretty funny. So it was fun.
It was fun.
Yep. And then, so Saturday, well, this is airing on a Monday, but Saturdays were usually like our adventure day.
Yep.
So we decide we're going to go kayaking. We're going to try kayaking here because we haven't kayaked yet. First of all, we forgot that we said when we are going to try it, we're going to do it during the week so that it's not busy. Well, we forgot the rule that we set for ourselves, and it is full like vacation season up here.
It's kind of a touristy spot, honestly, up here.
It's touristy. It's the Blue Ridge, and this is like the peak. Kids are out of school.
Yeah.
Everybody's planning their vacations. So we got stuck in lots of traffic.
It was, and and I started like losing my cool a little bit because it was like, or a lot, but it was, we get everything going and we're almost there, and I had a pee, which newsflash, that's like every half hour. But anyway, so we're like, drop off her car at one location. And if you're familiar with the area, what we wanted to do, and we are going to do on a weekday now, I'm going to have to take a day off or something, but we wanted to go from Hominy Creek.
Well, dropping the one vehicle at Hominy Creek.
Yep. That's right, because we're going the other way.
Leaving from Bent
Creek.
Bent over
Creek. Phil McCracken. Anyway, so I guess we're dropping the car off at the end and starting at the beginning. But at the end, at Hominy Creek, it's a little tiny 2-lane road that runs along Hominy Creek, and it also is the only entrance to the dump. So you're in a line of cars without am I exaggerating?
No.
25 cars long that they let one in and you move. And as soon as you get up to the entrance to the dump and they turn in, then you can go straight and go down to the park. But
cray.
So we went through all that. Then anyway, long story short, when we finally started to go back, I missed the turn because traffic blocked the entrance on the other side. Then there was nowhere to turn around, so we had to turn off on a side street. And then there's a whole nother line of cars. So now we're 40 minutes from the.
And mind you, we can only leave the dogs for maybe
it was a nightmare.
5 hours, pushing it 5 hours because the little one's still a puppy. So
and it really is because it is literally gridlock traffic on these little 2-lane roads, and then on a little 2-lane side road. So you're like, wow, one missed turn cost us 40 minutes. We're never going to make it. And I guess it was a blessing in disguise because it did rain about an hour later.
Yeah.
But
and
we
there was
definitely
lightning too.
Yeah, we're going to go back and do that.
And we would normally take the dogs, but we haven't been on these rivers yet, and they're a little different than Florida rivers.
There's some rapids.
There's some rapids and some rocks, and
it's
not something we're used to navigating. Yeah. I think it'll be fairly easy, though, because the river's so wide.
I was going to say, if you're not from here and you're not familiar with the French Broad River, it's probably, I'd have to look it up, but my estimation is it's probably about 50 yards wide. I mean, it's really wide. It's about half the width of a football field is long. Yeah. So... it's not something you'd want to lose a dog on because I feel like it'd be hard to catch him. Now, that being said, as we're canceling the whole thing, going back and getting her car, picking up her car, Angie's car, and we're leaving, I see 2 little corgis, and I roll down the window. I'm like, hey, and of course, all us corgi nerds, my God, I got my dog father shirt on now, but I'm like, how old are your corgis? And she's telling me, and we're talking, and I'm waiting for Angie to kind of catch up to me in the parking lot, and she goes, are you here for the corgi meetup where we're going to kayak with our corgis? And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, we got to get a part. We got to join that club.
I'm part of it. I saw the messages going by. I just didn't realize it was that day. So,
well, plus we haven't been with them on, he hasn't even been on the kayaks yet.
Yeah.
Oliver. Mackenzie loves it. Of course, there's water.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
I think he's going to be fine. We just have to get him a little life jacket and, maybe we'll try it this 4th of July week.
Yeah, because he's not scared of going down to a river. Even
he loves it.
I forgot. When we were at that Falls Park at the Reedy in South Carolina, we walked down to this section under the bridge where it is like extreme current. It would have taken us away. It sounds like a waterfall, but it's just the current, and he's trying to walk right out into it. So I don't think he's afraid.
No, he does something about the hose. It's his nemesis.
Yeah, we're just trying to be cautious,
Yeah.
But.
Well, we today we usually record on Sundays, and then we put the podcast out on Mondays. And today was a normal recording day. We had guests in that will be on at a later date.
Yep.
And then we always try to get the pups wore out a little bit, you know? So after we recorded that podcast, we took them hiking and we found a new hiking trail. I think we're going to try that from now on. Some new ones. Just driving the Blue Ridge and pulling off on like one of the little paths that you see on the side of the road and just exploring. Because the one we went on today was perfect for hiking with dogs. It was just very humid out.
I mean, it was. You're right. Width-wise,
especially coming uphill.
It was wide enough to drive a car down through some parts. So it was nice with the dogs because you don't have to try to keep them out, from jumping off the ledge. But it was. We're marching along, and I'm mapping out this trail with the app, and I'm like, we could go all the way around and circle back. I don't think it's that far. And then we decide, it's a little far. As soon as we turn and start going back uphill, I'm like, oh my God, thank God.
Just walked.
Well, no, because we would have, think about it, eventually that trail would have had to go back up.
And we would have had all that.
That would have been wasted. Yeah. And it's so humid. It's like walking in a greenhouse right now, which is what leads us back to how we started. I'm like, the humidity here is so surprising. Even David Spade made a joke about it.
It's funny, though. The humidity doesn't really surprise me because the trees let that off, too. Like when you're in the middle of the forest, it's evaporating or, you have all the coverage on the ground that's got moisture if it rained. So that doesn't surprise me so much. It's just, I don't mind the humidity. It's when it's the heat and the humidity mixed.
Together, I guess that's maybe what I meant, and I shouldn't be surprised either. But and we looked all this stuff up before we moved up here. But I guess living in Florida where you can...
Look, I'm just telling you, I wasn't believing people when they're like, it gets just as hot. I'm like, no, shut up. You just don't want me to move. And I'm moving anyway. It doesn't.
I knew it.
It doesn't.
I knew it did. I guess here's the difference to me. So, like right now...
You get a break from it, is the thing.
Temperature's 83 right now, and it's about 7 o'clock. In a couple hours, it'll get down in the 60s tonight. Yeah. So that's sort of the difference where...
That is a perk.
It doesn't get down in the 60s in Florida at night this time.
And then having the seasons that we'll be able to enjoy. Yeah. I feel like, we did have such... I guess it was just short to us because we were so busy too. The winter was so short to us because we were just getting the house together and everything like that.
Yet we still went out every weekend. I was looking at some of the videos. It's crazy.
Yeah. But exploring has been the most fun. And I kind of feel like we're still on vacation.
I do too.
You know what I mean? Like, I know, this is our house and we're going to live here for a while. But because we are exploring every single weekend like that, it makes me feel, everything's new to us. Yeah. So that's why it feels like it's still kind of vacation because we're not set in in our way yet as far as, this is my favorite place or I'm going here, I'm doing this thing. The exploring makes it feel like you're just still on like a permanent vacation.
Agree. And it's so big, like the woods up here and all the trails off the parkway and all the hiking.
So many.
That's the thing that I think you getting to do here is that sort of adventure or explore. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of places where you live, you do that maybe for the first 6 months and then you kind of did it. And every once in a while you might run into something new, but I feel like you could probably live here for 5 or 10 years and there's still just, I didn't know about this trail. Oh, I didn't know about that. So that part of it's really fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to our next town that we're going to check out, which is Hot Springs. If you have any suggestions, please email us or shoot us a message on social media. And guys, thank you so much each and every week that you tune in to listen to us. We're really meeting some great people up here in the Nashville area and so excited to just kind of grow our audience here.
Everyone's been so sort of supportive and kind that we've met. And all the small business, such a big small business sort of circle here. I know the word I'm looking for.
They're all very supportive of each other.
And we just love it. So thank you so much. And if you're interested, if you're just tuning in, you want to learn more about this area and maybe who owns what small businesses around here, what there is to do, please continue to tune in. And we really appreciate it very much.
And reach out if you think you would be a good fit for the show, or if you know somebody else who has a great small business that wants to come on, promote their business. How many times can I say business?
And that's okay. Well, speaking of business, the links to get a hold of us, if you are a business that's interested in the business of our business, you can find us there. You can also find us at fineanddanjee.com. That's FINEANDDANJEE. I used to say that every episode. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And remember, at the end of each and every day,
It's all fine and dandy. Angie, did you just eat the last pickle?
You mean this silly dilly? Oops, sorry.
Dude, I was looking forward to that. That's my favorite flavor, too.
No worries, I'll just run up to DJ's Pickles and grab some more.
Oh, that's right. They have their own pickle shop at the W&C Farmers Market right here in Asheville.
Yes, they do. They also jar small batches of their chef-crafted gluten-free pickles and other products there. I love that they don't use any preservatives or anything artificial.
Nice. Now I'm really craving one. Can we just head up to the pickle shop now?
Sure thing. And while we're there, I'm going to pick up my favorite as well. The sweet and spicy okra is the best. And don't forget, we can always order them online at djspickles.com and have them shipped right to the house.
Awesome. But while I'm there today, I'm just going to stock up so I don't run out anytime soon and you don't eat the last pickle anytime soon again.
DJ's Pickles, crafted with care and delightfully delicious.
So what did you think? Did you like the show? If you did like the show, we would love a review on the Apple Podcast app or whatever app you use to listen. And if you want to hear more, you can subscribe on that same app so you get notified when new shows come out. You can see pictures from each episode, including our guests, at fineanddanjee.com, and you can follow us on all social media at Fine and Danjee. Thanks. We'll see you next time.